Hello everyone. Hello Dr. Lim. My name is Anne. Today I will attempt the questions from chapter 20 which is related to exchange rate regime. The questions that we have for today is assume that the current output is more than the natural level of output. In a fixed exchange rate regime, explain the two ways the economy can return to the natural level of output. In this presentation, I will break down the question for better understanding. Part 1, I will go through the overview of exchange rate regime. Part 2, understanding the natural output level. Part 3, the scenario, which is the context of the question. And Part 4, which is the answer, whereby the two ways the economy can return to the natural level of output with explanation and graphs. Everything has its history, and same goes for exchange rate regime. During the Bretton Woods period between 1944 and 1972, a number of countries adopted a system of fixed exchange rates, with all member countries other than the United States fixing the price of their currency in terms of dollar. In definition, the fixed exchange rate regimes refers to an exchange rate regime followed by countries whose currency is anchored or pegged to another country's currency or a valuable commodity like gold. So why would a country fix its exchange rate this way, we may be thinking? The purpose of fixed exchange rate system is to keep a currency value within a narrow band so that it helps control inflation, maintain exchange rate certainty, and have a stable environment for facilitating international trade without worrying about currency moves. With the benefit of fixed exchange rate, the country is also exposed to its weakness, as this system limits the use of monetary policy by central bank to affect country's growth rate. Now let's move on to understanding the real exchange rate. Real exchange rate can adjust either through number one, a change in the nominal exchange rate, E. If the domestic price level and the foreign price level do not change in the short run, this is the only way to adjust the real exchange rate in the short run. Or number two, through a change in the domestic price level relative to the foreign price level. In the medium run, as price adjusts, this option is open even to the country with a fixed exchange rate. It is also worthwhile for us to look into the formula to calculate real exchange rate. The formula reads Epsilon equals EP, which is the nominal exchange rate times domestic price level, over or divided by P star, which is the foreign price level. In the short run, a fixed nominal exchange rate implies a fixed real exchange rate. In the medium run, the real exchange rate can adjust, even if the nominal exchange rate is fixed. This adjustment is achieved through movement in the relative price level over time. This slide is meant for understanding natural level of output. It says that an economy natural level of output occurs when all available resources are used efficiently. It equals the highest level of production an economy can sustain. It is natural because an economy returns to its natural level of output following a recession or overheated period. The natural level of output is also referred to as a natural level of production, long-run aggregate supply, or the full employment level of output, FE output. Based on the question, we can see that when current output is more than the natural level of output, that is a sign of overheated economy. This can happen when the economy grows too fast. An economy is said to be overheated when inflation increases due to prolonged growth rate, which is good, and the producer produce in excess, thereby creating excess production capacity. On the contrary, when output is below the natural level of output, that is when the economy is facing a recession. Finally, this slide brings us to the answer. On the two ways the economy can return to the natural level of output is by first, adjustment to price level, second, adjustment to money supply. It is also worth to note that any macro level mechanism only happens in the short run and medium run. Number one, which is using adjustment in the price level. If the current output is above the natural level, there may be excess aggregate demand in the economy, leading to inflationary pressures. In this case, the central bank can raise interest rate or take other actions to reduce aggregate demand and bring down the price level. As the price level falls, the real value of money increases, making domestic goods and services relatively cheaper compared to foreign goods and services. This can help to reduce demand for foreign goods and increase demand for domestic goods, leading to a decline in net export and a reduction in output. In the open economy under fixed exchange rate, the price level affects output through its effect on the real exchange rate. Second is through adjustment in the money supply. Another way that an economy can return to its natural level of output in a fixed exchange rate regime is through adjustment in the domestic money supply. If the current output is above the natural level, the central bank can reduce the money supply by selling government securities or increasing reserve requirements for banks. This can reduce the amount of money available in the economy, leading to a decrease in aggregate demand and a decline in output. If we look at the shifts graphically, this is what we will see on the supply side. The short-run aggregate supply (SRAS1) shifts up over time to SRAS2, leading to an increase in the price level, to a real appreciation, and to a decrease in output from Y1 to Y2. The process ends when output has returned to the natural level of output. Alternatively, on the demand side of things, the graph shows that the right size of appreciation can shift short-run aggregate demand to the left, leading the economy to go up to point Z. At point Z, the output is back to the natural level of output. In conclusion, regardless of which exchange rate regime, the output will return to its natural level of production in the long run through a self-correction process. Any adjustment made is only in the short run and medium run. This is my last slide. I would like to take this opportunity to wish everyone Happy New Year 2023. All the best and thank you for listening.